Okay, so for today's 3D modeling challenge, I believe it is day 6, we are going to be making a globe. Okay, that'll be an interesting one. All right, we can remove that from the list. Start, open, uh, why don't we start with a map? Because I'm thinking if I want to actually make this, um, something that can be, have actual like bumps, land masses for continents and stuff like that, I'll need to think about how to project that onto the globe. But you know what? Let's start with a UV sphere, and that seems to be about good to me. Actually, you know what? That's what I'll do. Instead of making like a realistic globe like this, we're gonna use shaders and build up like some procedural land masses on this. Okay, so we'll start with that. Instead of a map, give me some globe reference. And I think I already know how I want to make it. Yeah, it'll be tilted on one axis, and then it'll have sort of this crescent shape going around it, and a base. Easy enough. Okay, so we'll add a cylinder, and that'll be the base of our globe. Awesome. Grab that, inset a face there, extrude it up, inset a face there, and then this will be sort of the start of our the base of our globe like that. I mean, actually, why don't we scale it along the Y? They can have sort of that pinched effect that that guy has. Sure. Now for the crescent part, why don't we add a mesh circle? And then we can rotate this along the x-axis by 90 degrees. Perfect. And we can move this out of the way for a second. So for sure we'll want it scaled up. Make it a face, inset a face, and then delete the face. Perfect. Okay. And then extrude it like so. Perfect. And we'll just have all of these shade smooth by angle. Perfect. S, cursor selected, Shift S, selection to cursor. All right. Now for this, we'll actually want it to be tilted along the Y by, I don't know, 30 degrees. Yeah, that seems fine to me. Why do you look like that? You know what, I don't know. But here's what we'll do is tap both of these, and it looks like we'll need, so if we Alt Z, oops, we can just select all of these. Delete the vertices. Make a face out of it. Okay, so this, I'm betting these are the, yeah, those are the shade smooth by angle lines. So this is gonna be shaded smooth, but these are hard. Okay, that makes sense. All right, and then what I'll also do is I'll add a single loop cut onto both of these. And then, actually, no. Where do you line up? You line up on that face. Okay, I'm comfortable with that. No, we'll add 2 cylinders. And since it's going to be small, we can bring that down to like 16. Very small. And then select the vertice, cursor to selected, Shift S, selection to cursor by 30. Make it local SZ. Oh, that's interesting. That is not. Are you all lined up? Ah. And then we'll scale it down, everything but the Z. And there we go. Shift D, move it along the Z axis, put it in there, and that is going to be pretty much it for modeling our globe. So now we'll get into shading. And that'll be the bulk. Yeah, that'll be the vast majority of this challenge. So for the base, why don't we do a new material, call it globe base. You'd start off with like texture view. Oh, and for the background of the world, since we're looking at blues and greens, why don't we do like a nice red. Make it a bit darker so that shadows, exist. And then actually also while we're at it, to make it like a nice scene, why don't we add a plane? Make it big. And then we can like bevel, give it a subsurf. This is a classic background I like to do. And then make it shade smooth. Perfect. And we can just move our camera. And get this guy in frame. I think I like that actually, so oops. So what we'll have to do is turn camera to view off, and then just grab all the verts here and all of them, and just scale that along the X. That's perfect. Anyways, back to shading. The sun. And where Where do we want our shadows to fall? Maybe in to the background. We'll give it a little bit of a skew. That's perfect. And then we'll also add, why don't we add an area light? Just like in front of this, just a nice big soft shadows. Do it like, I don't know, 500. That's too much. Maybe, is it too much? How does it look? Oops. And while we're at it, I can turn screen space reflections off. I also don't think I want bloom going on either, but we for sure want ambient occlusion. For shadows, yeah, that's fine. How many samples? Render 128, that's a lot, but whatever. Yeah, I'll say this is an acceptable globe. All right, so for this one, we'll make it a nice deep brown. Actually, for the world texture, what am I thinking? I want our shadows to be like black. Actually, if anything, we can make our shadows be sort of complementary to the color of the globe, and then we can make our background, this guy, we can make it globe background. And on this, we can make it a nice light pink. And for you, we don't want it to be that reflective. And we also want like a wave. Sure. Your rings maybe. On the Z. Maybe on the UV coordinates. Or no, I think the object is what we want. Yeah, exactly. And we'll take this, we'll add a color ramp. I'll add some distortion to this. Make it like black to, oh, not to brown. You know what? No, never mind. That looks horrible. Give me a mix node. Plug that into that normal. Give me a ring. We want this to be brighter so we can see what we're doing to our normal here. Or even, what do we do with bump? The height. The strength to like 0.1. And then we also want to mix that with a noise texture, just to give it some visual interest, I think. We'll bias the noise quite a bit here, but I think that looks fine because we don't want it to be too blatantly realistic, because what we're going to do is new collection, take all of our geometry here, move it in there, and then we're eventually going to add a collection line art to this, but that's beside the point. New material, Make it gold, get very metallic. So what is it, like brass? Should be like that ish. Sure, that look good. The roughness, give me Voronoi. What's distance look like? Should be like smooth. Scale it up. Yeah, that's good. More scale. And why not a subdivision surface or a bevel? And we bevel our edge. I like that a lot better. Okay, a bevel and a subsurf. Okay, perfect, but we don't care about having that visible right now. Okay, cool. You should also have the, what's this called? Call it glow rim. We'll give you the glow rim. And I'll also give you the glow rim. Okay. Now for the globe itself. So how much time do we have? 15 minutes. Okay, awesome. Because what I'm going to do is create a new texture and we'll call this globe. What we're going to be doing is basically layering a bunch of noise textures. So let's see what this looks like. Okay. So this is going to be our continents. All right, we actually want a lot of detail on this. And we'll start off with a color ramp. Where we want the blacks to be a lot clearer, the whites to be a little less clear. All right, and then we'll turn the scale up a bit. Maybe we'll try B-spline. No, that's too soft. Cardinal? That's better. So we'll start with this. And these are our continents. Okay. We'll start off with that. And we want to make this color. The land masses, we'll make them. Actually, we'll do this with a mix color node. Just because it'll be a bit clearer for me. It's the factor. So we'll make the land masses. We'll shoot for pastels. Like this. And we'll make the sea a nice blue. And what do we want our warmth curve to be? I'm thinking here to here. Wait, where did our green begin? There. So why don't we curve an arc to like there? I think that's good. Yeah. Perfect. Okay. And then what we'll also do is we'll use this same, give it a BSDF. Is we're gonna give this same noise texture to a bump. We have the color as the height, the normal is the normal. Okay, and we can see it insetting on the continents when we actually want it to be the opposite, so we'll invert it. All right, so it's already evoking to me that feeling of like a childhood classroom globe. We want that on the displacement, actually. And we'll give it some subdivisions. None in the viewport, but that's exactly what we want. Now for visual interest, here's what we're gonna do is, so instead of um, blue and green here. What we're gonna do is we're gonna make another noise texture, and we can actually disconnect the bump for now. Take another noise texture, and here's what I'll do is we're gonna make land features. So we want to have maybe on our land masses we want to add maybe some mountain ranges. So I'm thinking that looks good. These are like, I don't know, the detail way up. Actually, let's make the scale bigger. I'm happy with that. And then add another mix color where instead of green and blue, why don't we make it like, first off, let's get that green. Green and like, we'll make it green and like, I don't know. It's a nice gray color that'll match. What about this one? Maybe it needs more feathering. Yeah, I think that's perfect. So we'll add some land masses, add some mountain features, and we'll also add in some lakes, or maybe we'll use a Voronoi to make some rivers. And close this up for a second. So we'll add a mix here, and then we'll use this noise texture as we'll use this noise texture as sort of the mask. As the mask here of our this. And here we'll just select this for a second. So wait. No, we want this guy to be the mask. I lied. Perfect. And then we can take this and make it a color ramp. Perfect. And then we can bring the black stop way up. Turn the detail down. Or maybe it's position we want. No, I think maybe it's actually smooth F1 with the position question mark. Start color. Maybe we'll give this another try. This is what I want here. You know, actually, no, Control Shift click. This is what I want. We'll start off with F1. we have something like this. When I want to make these white lines just be really, really highlighted. Maybe make them so I'm thinking something like this. Or I'm just not happy with this. Make the white more pronounced, maybe. Maybe we even in between this throw in another color ramp. Where we let's make the white way more pronounced. No. Okay, wait. What does smooth F1 look like? Maybe distance to edge is what we want. That's exactly what we want. Okay, we've found it. Here's the Krabby Patty secret formula. Perfect. Give it more, less detail. Turn the randomness up. Turn the scale up. We do want detail. We do want roughness. Turn the scale way up. Turn it back to ease for a second. Okay. Now, see how it looks in our mask? And that's even too many. So what we can do is add another noise texture and another color ramp factor, and we'll do a little bit of this. And this will need to be like white. No, I said white. Fully desaturated. Okay, there we go. So now we'll use this as our mask. Can make it stronger even. Crank the white up. Yeah, that's good. And then this texture is, we want that to be white. I'm lost. I forgot what I was doing. Making rivers? Eh. What's this look like? Rivers failed. We got mountains. Okay, whatever. Got mountain. We have this bump. And actually, why don't we... Here's what we'll do. We'll add one more bit of noise to this. Mix color. Gotta go fast here. Mix this with noise texture. Ah, no. Height. Displacement. And colors. And if we let it load for a second, that is our globe. And like I said, actually, what I wanted to do is add a collection line art for this collection, and give it more of a sort of a cartoony look. And with that, I think I'm happy. Let's render it and see how it looks. And I think next time, if I was going to go about making rivers, I think instead of using a Voronoi texture and, oh, what happened here? Um, well, why don't we quit that window, and maybe it needs to be on frame one. Just give it another go, and maybe actually we don't need that many samples. But as I was saying, instead of using a Voronoi texture, I might use a wave texture and add some distortion to it, because I could use that to create like one sort of thin line or maybe multiple thin lines. And I hate the way the bump looks on the render view, but I like it on this view. Why is that? Because I don't like it on that view. Okay, so shading. That's texture. That's that. Turn the roughness all the way down. I'm gonna turn the roughness all the way up, perhaps. Oh, that was kind of funny. It's kind of a fun look. Let's turn it up. That's because the strength is all the way up. 0.2, something dental. And with that, that is day, I think, 6 of our 3D modeling challenge. Thanks for watching.